Good afternoon, everybody. It is Tuesday. Short week this week, obviously 4th of July weekend, so tomorrow's a half day. So you have to be aware of what market conditions is going to be slow tomorrow. Look at this chart. I put up a spider chart, and you can just see the amount of dojis we've had every single day. Basically, it was a gap up, inside day, not a whole lot. Gap up, same thing. Gap up, same thing. Gap down, same thing. 7 days in a row of this back and forth, really no real direction. Maybe we're waiting for the number on Friday. Maybe we're waiting for next week. Seems like we're getting some resistance at the 50-day, at least temporarily. Some stocks, on the other hand, are actually acting better and much more constructive, and some have obviously bounced off the 50-day or 100-day very, very nicely. So it's just a little bit of a mixed bag here, what we have going on. The question is this volatility here to stay? Are we resuming an uptrend, knowing that earnings are coming out in the next week or two? Not sure. Market's going to let us know in a little while. Right now it's in wait-and-see mode, and it's holding steady for the time being. A few standouts in the last few days. We've been talking about Apple. It obviously showed its face a little bit on Friday. We talked about it. We highlighted it Monday morning, saying it looked decent. It actually gave you another entry around 402. And today it went really right to its 21-day moving average, and even above there. And to me, it could go a little farther than this. It just looks like it's changed its tone a little bit. I'm not saying I'm going to be buying it at 425. I think you got key levels. Even today, you could have bought it back at 415, and then it had some Time Warner news. But in general, I feel like it's changed its tone a little bit. So I am looking at it from a trading perspective, from the long side back to probably its 50-day moving average, which is about 433. But I do think it's not. I don't think it's going to be a straight line. So I think it's something that can be tradable again, can be in play for a lot of for those that really have had it off the radar for the last 6 months for a good reason. And it seems like the tone is changing. Let's hope it's not just a day or two, because it's obviously a good trading vehicle across the board. Other standouts today: Amazon keeps grinding higher. It went above the 285 today. Doesn't seem like it's ready for prime time. I think maybe that earnings push is going to be the key, if it obviously beats earnings. But Amazon never beats, and it always just goes up. So the reality is, I have a bunch of charts we can look at. That's what I'm seeing. I don't see breakouts really lasting for any extended period of time, at least to new highs. I see breakouts failing also the other way. And I think we're just going to create range-bound opportunities. Some things on the short side that people have been watching. I've been saying it, BlackBerry, once they become teenagers, one thing, which has been a while, but then it breaks $10. A lot of times it heads lower. Looks very bad, looks very poor. I was shorted today above 10, covered, but it probably can go lower, and that's just the way, the nature of the beast and how the stock trades. Tesla, which we like to trade a lot, took a break today. A rest could be in the cards, meaning the moving averages need to play catch up. That might take a few more days. That, to me, not a necessary blow off top, but definitely some back and fill can happen across the board. I think shorts are still trapped in this one, and I think you got to really be aware and recognize it across the board. Banks, just to mention a few. Goldman, not really acting well. A little bit of a bear flag. Breaks 150, 149.50. Looks like it get down to the 145 level. It's now below some key moving averages. We'll have to wait and see if that plays out. JP Morgan, hanging steady above the moving averages, so not as bad. Another best in breed. Wells Fargo hanging tight, right at highs. Bank of America hanging right near key moving averages. So actually Goldman is the only one that looks a little hurting across the board. Sorry. A few other things. I know a lot of people look at biotechs. Right now, I don't think there really has been a whole lot to trade in the biotech sector. Onyx was the other day. I think REGN is hanging in there. You could make an argument that below 220, it's a nice short. Above 235, 240, it's a nice long. In between this range, it's just tradable, and it's in a tight trading range. Same thing with the BIB. We have some key moving averages playing catch up, so maybe around 212 in another day or two. This becomes a little bit more interesting across the board. Gold rallied to its 10-day and actually stopped. That should actually be a little resistance, at least temporarily. So in my opinion, you might see a down day in gold over the next day or two. Possibly a test of low. We'll have to see if that's in the case. It's obviously beaten up. It's at points where certainly it can bounce, but the bounces seem like they're not going to be lasting for that any period of time. Any of the other indices, IWM's hanging tight. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot of damage done to that across the board. And the Qs are obviously mid-range. They had a nice bounce. We've had a nice bounce over the last bunch of days. I wouldn't be surprised to see some sell-off happen. I just don't know what the catalyst is going to be. Maybe it's Egypt. Maybe it's a number on Friday. Maybe it's the following week. We'll have to wait and see across the board. Till then, I think it's a holding pattern. Certainly there's things to buy, things to sell. Range-bound stocks, that's where we're at right now. I think you got to be a lot more selective. I've been selective over the last week or two. It helps keep your mind in the right, ideally in the right places. The right places today certainly was Apple. I think was probably the best in breed certainly from the long side. It was the gift that kept giving, but usually sometimes it's hard to find which ones are the best for us to take advantage of, and that's where we're at. Other things that I know people were talking about on the chat that I did not trade. X, very good move. A little bit of bottoming formation. I think BTU somebody was talking about. No, I don't know if WLT. No, but X I guess was a standout. I don't really know why specifically, but again, that sector has been beaten up. I really have not followed it too much. I've not followed the oils that much. Oil could certainly spike with the Egypt crisis happening. But we'll have to wait and see if there's really going to be a trade that we can dig into. Right now, I don't see any technicals that really make a whole lot of sense in that sector. That's where we're at, guys. I don't think a lot's going to happen between now and Monday, but at the same time, hopefully we can take advantage of a few good ideas, selective ideas. Remember, tomorrow's a half a day, and then Friday obviously is going to be a very quiet day, knowing that a lot of people are going to be out of work or out of the office. So good luck. If I don't talk to you all, have a good 4th of July, and I'll see you back on Monday.
I'm Evan Lazarus, Chief Knowledge Officer for T3Live.com. You don't become a great trader by watching videos and taking courses. You become a great trader through live screen time. Accelerate that learning curve by tapping into the experience of seasoned professionals. Currently, we're offering 5-day free trials to each of our 4 mentoring rooms. In the mentoring rooms, we teach our strategies in the context of the live market. To sign up for a free trial, go to the T3 Live education page, fill out the form, and get started when the next trading session begins. We hope to see you in one of our mentoring rooms.